Good evening. It's Friday, June 5, 2020 here in Cebu City. I'm Sherry Ann Lim. Here's all you need to know in Newsbits tonight. Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia has withdrawn her executive order that would have allowed backriding on private motorcycles after President Rodrigo Duterte said he would not approve any exemption on the current ban. Meanwhile, Cebu City Mayor Edgardo Labella says he would still wait for the Department of Transportation to act on his appeal to ease the backrider policy. Here's Chari Coronel for the details.
Cebu Governor Gwen Garcia, in an interview over Radio DYLA, says she will withdraw Executive Order 19, which allows backriding on private motorcycles, that she signed last Wednesday, June 3. Garcia says the order aims to address the lack of public transportation in the province, which has been under general community quarantine status since May 16. President Rodrigo Duterte did not approve with the decision of the governor. The provincial board was expected to convene today, but Garcia says she already advised the provincial board to defer the order. According to the president, as much as he would like to support the order of Garcia, he could not approve any exemption to the ban. Duterte says he could be charged for giving Cebu undue advantage to the prejudice of other local government units. As for Cebu City Mayor Edgardo Labella, he says he will wait for the response of the Transportation Secretary Arthur Tugade regarding his appeal to reconsider the no backrider policy. The Department of Transportation banned backriders on motorcycles in compliance with the social distancing protocol. Chari Coronel, Newsbits Tonight.
The Cebu City government recorded 369 new recoveries from the coronavirus disease today, but it also logged 73 new confirmed COVID-19 cases. Here's Kenneth Torres for the details.
Cebu City now has a total of 1,557 recoveries from coronavirus disease after 369 patients have recovered today. The bulk of the new recoveries came from the Cebu City Jail with 339. The other recoveries came from Barangays Basak Pardo with 10, Mambaling with 8, Poblacion Pardo with 4, Inayawan and San Nicolas Proper with 2, Dulho Fatima, Suba, Pasil and Ermita with 1 recovery each. The city also recorded 73 new infections, 19 of which came from Barangay Kamputhaw, Careta with 8, Dulho Fatima with 6, Barangays Basak Pardo, Bulacau, Luz, Calamba, Guadalupe, Lahog, Mabolo, Mambaling, Pasil, Tijero, Tinago, Tisa and Cebu City Jail with 2 cases each. Barangays Banilad, Basak San Nicolas, Capitol Site, Ermita, Inayawan, Pahina Central, Pitos, Quiyot, San Jose, Sambag Uno, San Nicolas Proper, Tipadilla, Talamban and Busay with 1 case patient each. In Mandaue City, 4 new infections were recorded today, bringing the total count to 306 cases. Patient 303 is a 30-year-old male from Upper Malibu, Barangay Subang Dako. Patient 304 is a 35-year-old male from Villaver Compound, Barangay Subang Dako. Patient 305 is a 31-year-old female from Upper Malibu, Barangay Subang Dako. And patient 306 is a 58-year-old male from Sitio Orchids, Barangay Upaw, who died last June 3. 6 new recoveries were also logged today, bringing the total count to 42. Meanwhile, Asturias Town recorded its first COVID-19 case. Mayor Anto Pintor says the patient is a 23-year-old male dietary utility worker at Vicente Soto Memorial Medical Center in Cebu City. The patient acquired mild symptoms of the viral disease, but he has not been home since April 9. The mayor says they will not conduct contact tracing anymore. Kenneth Torres, Newsbits.
Members of different cause-oriented groups were arrested during a protest against the anti-terror bill outside the University of the Philippines Cebu campus this afternoon. Here's Chari Coronel for the details.
Ano inyo maniwala? Ano lagi? Unsa mo gi-violate sa GCQ? Unsa mo gi-violate sa GCQ? Unsa lagi mo gi-violate sa GCQ?
What was supposed to be a protest against the anti-terror bill at the University of the Philippines, Cebu, led to the arrest of some members of the militant groups in Central Visayas. The Alyansa sa mga mamumuo sa Sugbo Kilusang Mayo 1 condemned the arrest of 8 members during the #JunkTerrorBill Black Friday protest this afternoon. The group also called for the immediate release of Jaime Paglinawan of Bayan Central Visayas, Joanna Veloso of the National Union of Students of the Philippines, Bern Canido of Youth Act Now Against Tyranny Cebu, Nar Porlas of Anakbayan UP Cebu, Dayan Humanaw of Kabataan Party List, UP Alumnus Al Inking, and Janry Ubal of Food Not Bombs Cebu. Upon arrival at UP Cebu grounds, the group says protesters reported the presence of policemen around the area, and minutes before the protest started, a special weapons and tactics team arrived at the scene. The group added that the police gave a warning to the protesters that they had 5 minutes left or they would be dispersed.
Wala pa gani anti-terror bill. Ilahan na rin ginapasan. Ilahan na. Buhat ka. Sobra pa sa marsya, no? Nga mo ang panawagan. Dunggon. Among panawagan nga ayuda. O dili may arestuhon nga mga aktivista. Sobra pa ni sa marsya, no? Ang ginabuhat sa kasamtangan nga administrasyon. Huwag sa mga kapulisan nga naadiri karon. Naami kauban gipusasan. Pero non-uniform personnel ang nagdakop sa iyaha. Di na pwede.
Regional Police Director Albert Ignatius Ferro says they arrested the protesters due to violation of the community quarantine guidelines, where mass gatherings are still prohibited. He says the protesters were just putting themselves at risk of acquiring the virus. The Commission on Human Rights Central Visayas said it is now investigating on what happened during the protest. Chari Coronel, Newsbits Tonight.
Some 90 special permits were issued by the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board in Central Visayas to help ease the problem of the lack of public transportation in Cebu now that more people have returned to work. Here's Kenneth Torres for the details.
The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board Central Visayas says it issued at least 90 special permits to public utility vehicles, which would be serving the cities of Cebu, Mandaue, Lapu-Lapu, Talisay, and the municipality of Consolacion. LTFRB Central Visayas Director Eduardo Montialto Jr. says, of the number, 61 special permits for buses that will ply different routes in Cebu City, while 29 will be serving routes in Mandaue, Lapu-Lapu, Talisay, and Consolacion. Montialto says they decreased the number of PUVs based on the guidelines of the implementation of community quarantine. Julie Flores, head of the Cebu Provincial Bus and Minibus Operators Cooperative, says only 80 buses are now plying in southern Cebu from the usual 200 units. The LTFRB clarified that the increase in the number of vehicles allowed to ply the routes would be in phases, depending on the demand. Based on the memorandum, if there is a need for additional public transit, public buses would be first in deployment, second are modernized jeepneys, third are UV express services, fourth are traditional jeepneys, and lastly are tourist vans. All PUVs should comply to the health protocols such as social distancing and regular disinfection of units. The LTFRB also issued 150 special permits for taxis and transport network vehicle service such as Grab and MyCab. However, operators might still be conducting training for their drivers since the taxis and TNVS would be using a cashless payment system. Kenneth Torres, Newsbits Tonight.
The Cebu City Treasurer's Office still needs to collect more than 4.3 billion pesos to reach its targeted tax collection of 9 billion pesos for 2020. Here's Chari Coronel for the details.
Cebu City has yet to reach its projected income of 9 billion pesos for year 2020. The City Treasurer's Office still need to collect more than 4.3 billion pesos. Special Assistant to the Mayor on Finance and Business Matters, Jerome Castillo, says the city is experiencing the lowest collections due to the crisis caused by COVID-19 pandemic. Castillo says the Treasurer's Office collection unit at SM City Cebu is now operating to provide taxpayers from the north to pay their taxes. He earlier said that there might be programs and projects of the city that will suffer due to low tax collection. The deadline for the quarterly tax collection in Cebu City has been extended until this month after the City Council approved an ordinance extending the deadline of tax payment. Chari Coronel, Newsbits Tonight.
To get the latest, visit www.sunstar.com.ph. Subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on our social media accounts on Twitter and Facebook. I'm Cherry Ann Lim. Good evening.